What's up guys, Coach MANdler here, Team Soul Patrol. Hey, in the last Flex Friday routine, you notice I maxed out on the bench press and unfortunately bombed on a PR attempt, and it was because I made a typical bonehead mistake that unfortunately I can never seem to learn from. And that got me thinking, I want you to learn from my mistakes instead of making the same ones that I make consistently. So without further ado, I'm going to drop my top tips on how to get the most out of your 1 rep max days on the bench press so that you don't have to make the same bonehead mistakes that I make and can actually set new PRs for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1, don't be that meathead that tries to max out on your bench press every week. Good rule of thumb is this: if you're training at or above 90% of your 1 rep max in the bench press for more than 2 weeks in a row, you're going to see largely diminishing returns on that sweat equity. What I do to avoid this problem is go in waves. I work from a 5 rep max all the way down to a 1 rep max, and it typically takes me anywhere from 4 to even 8 or 9 weeks, depending on how many different specialty bars or different types of bench press variations I'm going to do. So rule number 1, make sure you're not maxing out too often. Rule number 2, make sure the day before you max out, you've had some good sleep, good nutrition, and haven't drinking too much. Because trust me, you're not going to max out or set a new PR when you're hungover, sleep deprived, or hungry as shit. Rule number 3, don't max out when you're sore as shit. Won't end well. It could end in injury or just sheer disappointment. Rule number 4, and possibly the most important rule for your self-respect and dignity, that is, make sure you drop a deuce before maxing out. Because let's face it, the intra-abdominal pressure and using the Valsalva maneuver when bench pressing could force you to shart. It's not a good thing to do. There's no recovery from that. Make sure you shit before you bench heavy. Rule number 5, make sure before you even touch the bench press that you do some type of fast and explosive priming exercise that will mimic the same movement pattern of the bench and get your nervous system stimulated, as well as to get you used to moving fast and explosively with the muscle fibers that are going to be recruited to move heavy-ass bar bending weights. Rule number 6, before going into the bench press, make sure you mentally prepare yourself by having a goal weight that you want to get. For God's sakes, don't be a pussy with it. Set a PR, or at least try to set a PR. If you're not trying to set a PR, really, what are you doing inside the gym? Rule number 7, don't jump right into your 1 rep max attempt without properly warming up on the bench press itself. Unfortunately, this doesn't go without saying, because I see countless numbnuts meatheads in the gym just slapping on 45s on each side of the bar without doing a proper bench press warm-up. What I do is start with just a barbell, doing about 15 to 20 reps with that, making sure I'm getting my nervous system and the muscle fibers that I'm trying to recruit getting used to staying tight, moving the bar fast and explosively, and then progressively move up to my goal weight. Once I get to about 70% of my 1 rep max goal, that's when I start hitting singles. Rule number 8, make sure you have a quality spotter that knows what he's doing and that you trust with your life, as well as one that knows how to cue you in ways that you respond best to during the lift. Rule number 9, make sure that spotter gives you a good lift off that brings you right over where the bar path will begin and end during your personal bench press. Not only will this help you save some gas in the tank, but it'll also keep you from jacking up your shoulders trying to lift out of the rack. Rule number 10, and the one that I seem to consistently shit the bed on, which constantly costs me a big 1 rep max, is making sure that you trust your strength and don't try to bounce the bar off your chest or your belly. Doing this causes you to lose tension, and that is going to cause you to lose control of the weight, which will cause you to get pinned and not get that 1 rep max that you're going for. Rule number 11, if it looks like you bit off more than you can chew and get pinned at the bottom of the lift, don't just give up and hope to God that that spotter is going to pull the bar off your ass. Make sure you keep fighting with it. At the very least, the time under tension from you pushing is at least going to help you build more size and even give you some strength gains as well. Rule number 12, judge how much you're going to go up in weight in your next attempt based on the last attempt's bar speed. If you're only in like that 60 to 80% of your 1 rep max goal, then you can afford to go up maybe some quarters or a caddy, which is a 25 and a 45 per side. But if it's moving slow, and once you get to that 85 or 90% of your goal max, that's when you only want to throw on maybe a 2.5 or a 5 per side for your next attempt. Rule 13, once you get to about 90% of that 1 rep max goal that you got for the day, rest about 3 to 5 minutes in between attempts to give your nervous system as well as the energy system involved in moving these big ass weights a chance to recover. Rule number 14, if you bomb out and get pinned on the same weight more than 2 times in a row, your nervous system's fried, you're not going to get that weight today. Move on to your weak point training, get stronger, and pick a fight with that weight on another day down the road. Rule number 15, not just for vanity purposes, but make sure you film these max effort attempts so that you can see if you do miss, why you're missing, so that you can clean up your form, and also to pick up on where you're missing so that you can address those weak point muscles with your supplemental and accessory training. And last but not least, rule number 16, if you are lucky enough to find that mythical unicorn of a personal record on your bench press max, then don't rest on your laurels. Don't hang your hat on it like a pussy. Remember, we're in the gym to set records, to push our limitations, and to find out what we're made of. So, reset your goal and chase it with the same vigor and sack that got you to achieve that personal record in the first place. Hey guys, hopefully that video helped out and it can guide you to that mythical PR that we're all going for inside the gym. If you digged it and want more of the same, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the future tips and routines I'll be hooking you up with here. And if you're trying to build more powerful, ripped, kick-ass muscle mass that allows you to look good while being able to kick ass, then do yourself a favor right now and pick up a free copy of the muscle building blueprint that I put together for you by clicking on that button right there. When you do, I'll take you to another page which outlines everything you're going to be getting with this free gift, as well as what you need to do in order to allow me to email it directly to your inbox free of charge. Like I said, you won't have to spend a single penny on this kick-ass free gift. Just click on that button, I'll take you to the next page which explains it all. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. MANdler.